Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back, guys, to another Bamcomixs video review. And if you're watching this review, congratulations, you've made it to another Bamcomixs video review. This time there's big things happening this week, and this time we're gonna talk about Cyberpunk. Wake up, samurai! We got a city to burn! Cyberpunk has been highly anticipated, guys, from the get-go. 7 years of waiting for Cyberpunk. CD Projekt Red, the makers of the Witcher series, have stepped up to deliver us gamers this first-person, what's supposed to be a masterpiece in gaming. I purchased the game digital, so I do have the PlayStation 5 version of the game. So when I do buy a PlayStation 5, I'll have the version of that. But guys, just a disclaimer before we begin this video, if you guys could please hit that like, please hit that subscribe and notification button. This is the PlayStation 4 version of this review, and we're just gonna go down a list. Based on my experience with the game, this is about 10 hours or so in, okay, like about 11 hours in. These are the things that I would like CD Projekt Red to fix in Cyberpunk. These are the things that Cyberpunk needs to fix, and I have no doubt that CD Projekt Red will fix these things, but moving forward, I would like to see these specific items addressed. So, let's just jump into it. Number one, the menus. Guys, as you know, for any video game, menus are so important. They're what lead you to your items. And in this game, it seems to me that the menus are an absolute mess in terms of item organization, okay? So, what do I mean by that? We know that we have individual items in the game. I've collected more than 15 handguns, collected rifles, collected shotguns. There's no option for grouping these items or even grouping them in a way that you can see. The icons are so small, and to be able to read it, it's not an easy task, guys. So not only are you thrown into this futuristic retro world, and you can tell by the design, even when you start the game in the map and you're looking through the menus, it seems that you have a computer cursor, like an old school computer cursor that you use to navigate the screen. So that's like a retro old vibe design. And the menus are just like, there's no group junking, there's no grouping selection, there's no dropping group, you can't sell as a group, you can't buy as a group. And if you're in the shops in the game, in one of the many stores in this game, especially in the gun shops or any of the Neuralink shops where you have to get upgrades to boost your Neuralink, there's none of that. So you have to go individually through each item. You can't select items as a whole group and then junk them like in games like such as The Division, where it just makes it easy to navigate what you have and to organize it. There's no massive sell items. 2, the weapon selection in this game. Now, given the fact that this is a first-person role-playing game, but it's set in the future, there is an emphasis also on action, and I just thought, you know, picking up the weapons in this game, first and foremost is that the game is really buggy, okay? The game is really buggy. We'll get down into that later. I encountered so many bugs playing this game, and this is something that's been 7 years in the making, and it's been hyped by almost every major media in the industry with regards to gaming. In the gaming media, Cyberpunk has been touted as wow. So in the menus, specifically in the items and of course in your item selection, the lettering of this thing, it's like there's so much information that's condensed, much like Night City is a condensed city, but there, you know, I just spent so much time just like looking through all of the menus trying to find organizing system for this. You know, as you're collecting clothes, you're collecting armor, weapons, all of this type of different loot. I wanted a system which could at one time allow me to manipulate and manage my groups if I wanted to sell them as groups or group-like items, and equipping my items and saying, for instance, that, you know, if I wanted to attach a scope to another gun, I could do that on the fly. I shouldn't have to be delving into this menus and just spending so much time transfixed on how do I decipher this code. You know, I would suggest just making the fonts bigger, a little bit bigger, and then on top of that, not allow one screen to overlap to another, so that you don't see what's going on in the back of the screen, in the screen behind it. When you select an item, the description of the item, there's a screen that pops up, and usually when you're reading it, it covers your main screen. It covers, like, when you want to compare two items, like I have two handguns, and I want to compare them to the one I have equipped, I would scroll over it, and then it would block all of the other descriptions of all of the other weapons. So it was really hard for me to know what I had equipped, what I didn't have equipped. Every weapon pickup is complicated. The map is a big one. The map is 3, okay? The map, I've never seen a map like this in gaming, okay, where it's all red, okay? It's all red. I would think that if it's all red, as you progress, you clear away the red, but the buildings are red, just like everything in the map except for the highways, those are like in blue, but it's just red everything. You know, it's all of the buildings look the same in the map, okay? So the detail, like just to see detail of it, it's very crammed. Everything is like very crammed together. It's not, you can't navigate that map very clearly. And when you press R3, when you go into free map mode and you zoom in, the icons disappear. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's an intentional part of the game, but the icons disappear. Every building is red and icons disappear. It's hard to navigate the map. This is, again, on a PlayStation 4. So, what is that? Now, this game was touted as being really, really super immersive, and there are times in this game where you're like, oh my god, wow, like I'm in a movie. You're in the future. It's Cyberpunk 2077. So when I see NPCs playing with video games or playing pool, I should be able to engage these NPCs. I should be able to, you know, guys, I mean, I'm a diehard game fan just like anybody else, okay? It's not like they're supposed to, CD Projekt Red is supposed to copy from other companies. But if you're selling a world here and you start off in a bar, which was great, by the way, and then that's your first mission, you should be able to, if you don't want to do that mission, maybe talk to one of the NPCs at the bar, get a date, talk to a girl, dance, do some shots at the bar, things that people would do in real life if they were at the bar, to go to the jukebox, dance, play a game of pool, play the video games in there, chat to some of the customers, see if they, you know what I'm saying, if they maybe know people who know people and things like that. So it's not really on that deep on that level. It could be. I mean, it could be. Who knows? Maybe CD Projekt Red has something in the works in the future. But right now, it's very surface. I guess the thing that's the most depth you can do is start scanning, which you can do. You can start scanning people. It's no pickpocketing. This is Night City. You know, guys, this is Night City. Anything can happen, and you expect in a city that's infested with crime and corruption that you could pickpocket NPCs. And, you know, alas, this isn't Bethesda games or Skyrim or any of that, but I mean, it could be. You know, the first time I played this game, and I was in heaven, guys. Don't get me wrong. This is just a critique. I'm not hating on Cyberpunk. I'm not hating on the people who make it. I respect them very much. As a matter of fact, I own the Witcher game, and it's one of my favorite games ever. The Wild Hunt, Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. But if Cyberpunk is going to move on into the future, and it probably will be, these are just the items that I would like to see addressed also, especially with the bugs. The bugs, guys, as I said, I played the game, I was getting into it, and then it crashed. And so that took me out of the experience, and it crashed quite a lot, actually, in the game. So to the point where I'm thinking, thank God they included a quick save feature where you just pause the game and you can quick save it. And I advise you guys to be doing the same. You're probably doing the same as we speak, to continue to save your game. No controller setup, okay? That's an issue, okay? There's many times in video games where we want to play the game our way, and we want to be able to switch the controls on the fly. Since there is a heavy amount of first-person action in this game, it would just make sense that maybe Call of Duty players or first-person veterans would like to set up their control schematic in a way that they would like to. So those were the things that I thought were that needed to be fixed. Guys, the biggest one, of course, is those bugs. Many frames didn't kick in. I was holding invisible guns, and the quality of the story is so good that it's a shame that these bugs, it ruins a lot of the most important scenes in the game are now ruined, because as I'm progressing through the game, whole frames are missing, and they add things that into the game that shouldn't be there in the first place, and it takes you way out of the experience. So the game wasn't ready. They pushed it back. But what I would have liked them to do actually was to hold this off until the PlayStation 5 and then debut it with that. But this is just coming from the experience of someone who's played it on a PlayStation 4, perhaps on a PS4 Pro. The experiences are different, or they may vary. I'm just speaking from my experience with the game. More than 10 hours in, these are the things that Cyberpunk needs to fix. Okay, guys, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. This has been OC with Bamcomixs. Please subscribe, hit that like, hit those notifications, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.